To learn about fractions, we're going to be using apples. A fraction is a piece of a whole. A whole could be 1 apple, or a whole could be 3 apples. If our whole is 3 apples, then by taking one away, this would be 2 out of 3 apples. That would be 2/3. If you took away 2 apples, that would now be 1/3 of a whole. Let's try this with 1 apple as our whole. This is our new whole. If we cut this apple in half into 2 pieces, now we have 2 pieces of the whole, so this would be 1/2, or 1/2. You can keep doing this and dividing it into more and more sections. If we divide half into a half, we now get a 1/4. I've done this now for both halves of the apple. Now we have 4 pieces of the whole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 1 piece over 4, or 1/4. You can continue to do this as many times as you want. To cut this in half would be an 1/8, and so on. With an apple, it's impractical to keep cutting it in half as many times as you like because sooner or later, the knife just wouldn't fit. But with fractions, you can cut it in half as many times as you like. We have 8 pieces of the apple, so one of these is 1/8. We can now group these together into different groups to show more fractions. What if I split it into 2 groups? This is 4/8 and 4/8. To simplify this, we could just say it's a half. If you put the 8s together, it equals half of an apple. You can do the same thing with any numbers. So here you've got your 8 pieces of the whole. This would be 1/8, then 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which makes a whole apple. We use fractions in our everyday life, just like cutting up this apple. We can use fractions to cook and to play the piano. If you take a whole note, for instance, and divide it in half, you now get a half note. Musicians use this every day, and when you cook, you can use measuring cups to measure the right amount of ingredients so it cooks properly. This is 1 cup. But if you divide that in half, you get a 1/2 cup. As you can see, fractions are very important. And you can always eat your apple when you're done.
Correct. And seeds.
I love fractions!
Des gamins, des artisans, il y a des camelots et des agents.